What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Under Armour Highlight Big Skill Padded Receiver Glove. Now before we jump into the review of these, we had a quick little unboxing and I'll meet you right back here. So these gloves don't actually have any official packaging, and I'll talk about why that is later in the video. But for now, we're just gonna do a quick unboxing where we just go over some of the detail shots and give you a little bit of a closer look before we jump into the full review pretty quick here. So in the package, you would obviously get two gloves. We have the right and the left. Now looking at the back of hand to start, we kind of have this thinner foam padding on the back here with some perforations along the side with the Under Armour logo, which is embroidered into there as well. So you can kind of see that, that's fully stitched, some kind of stitching process in there. Looking at the cuff, on the cuff it does say Under Armour with this kind of fluted pattern design, kind of stripy thing right here. So the cuff is still normal Velcro, it's not micro Velcro, so this stuff will get caught on your jersey, caught on your clothes, and kind of pull the strings out. So a lot of companies now use a micro Velcro, which doesn't stick to your clothing, and in my opinion is a lot better, so that would be a thing in the future. Continuing around, they have the same material that kind of wraps around the cuff here with more perforations that kind of lead into the glove here. We have the grip that kind of wraps around the cuff here with a UA logo there, and that same perforations wrap all the way around. Now looking at the thumb of the glove, we have kind of two different mesh materials. So we have a thin kind of black mesh material here, and then we have a white really thin see-through material here. This gives you some breathability and then also some dexterity to allow the joints to kind of move like they should. We have one pad on the thumb here, and it gets a little bit thinner, you can see there, so that's what kind of allows it that flexibility, is kind of thick, thin, thick. We do have a thumb wrap for the glove to give it a little bit more durability. Looking at the fingers here, we have an index finger wrap, which is really common nowadays. We do have some pads across all the fingers here. Again, they all have that same philosophy of thick, thin, thick, so it's one full-length pad, but with the thinner part, it gives you the dexterity you need with a big skill glove. Down below here, we do have some ventilation holes that look to be reinforced with some kind of other material. I don't recognize it from anywhere else on the glove. And then the entire two-piece of the glove is going to be this kind of thin mesh. It's kind of like a thin compression mesh. It's not the same as this. This is more of like an actual mesh, where this is kind of something a little bit different. Now looking at the palm, it's going to be Under Armour's glue grip on the palm, just like their F9s and their Nitros. You can actually see very faintly there is the UA kind of in it. So you can see there is a U here, very faint pattern with the black and silver. And here's going to be the glove. Fits really well. Now also on the back of hand, I didn't touch on this yet, but we do have three pads here. So we have one long pad that kind of wraps around here. It's the same thickness the entire way. Maybe like see it a little thinner here. We have more of that same mesh along the knuckles here. Pad, mesh, pad. And that is going to be the full glove. This one looks like kind of holding the football. Not terrible looking, but not the best in my opinion, but we'll talk more about that in review. Let's jump into that. Today's video is sponsored by Shock Visors. Now, if you watch our videos, you know Shock has been a long-time supporter of this channel. In fact, they gave me my first ever visor insert way back in 2014. And just like us, it's safe to say that Shock Visors has come a long way in those 10 years. Their Zero G Plus is the best visor on the market and fits almost every single helmet with one visor. While other companies would make you get a different visor for your Shutt F7 versus your Riddell Speedflex, this Shock visor fits a Shutt F7, a Riddell Speedflex, this Zenith X2E, Visus O2, and the Riddell Speed. Now, aside from it fitting every helmet, it comes in 21 different colors. And they're super affordable, which means you can pick up a clear for games and then a random crazy color for practice. Now, if you want to learn more about Shock Visors, you can visit the link in the description down below or watch any of our videos we've made. And in that link down below, we also have a 15% off coupon code that you can use anytime. All right, back to the video. Okay, I don't want to waste anyone's time here, so let's just jump right into the categories. First one we're going to be looking at is the fit and comfort. And honestly, there's not a lot I would change about these as far as the fit goes. Like, they're actually really nice. The fingers feel really good. When you do up the strap, it's like the perfect level of tight. You can cinch it down more if you want, but at its current level, it's a little bit loose, but it's like right where you want it. The grip bunches up like a little bit, but it's normal. Now, the only thing I would question about these is a couple of the pads with their size and placement. The one weird one to me, which just feels like a miss, is the thumb pad. The thumb pad's actually kind of off-centered, so when you flex your thumb while wearing this glove, the pad is kind of off to the side. It's like my thumb knuckle is here, but the pad is over here. Maybe that's on purpose, but it just feels a little weird to me. The other one is going to be how the back of hand pads kind of flow over top of the knuckles. You'd think it would be restricting, but it's actually not, which is surprising. But the other one I have the bigger issue with is going to be this pad here that kind of runs along in this wishbone shape along the inside of your hand here. This one just feels big and awkward, and I kind of wish they split it up into two pads or just did something a little different. Now, as far as materials go, the glove is a combination of a ton of different materials. There's some neoprene stuff on the back of the hand, then there's some mesh, and then there's some different compressive materials between the fingers, and then the pads are all a foam, and then there's some different stuff on the hand here. So it's a lot of different materials and textures and patterns on one glove, but we'll talk about the style later. So overall, the fit for this is actually pretty good. Next, we're gonna be looking at the breathability. Now, anytime you add pads to the back of hand on a glove, it's gonna make the glove infinitely more hot, and that's just the way it is. I also tested these on a really sunny day, and wearing all black gloves was not great either. Now, they did add some different perforations and stuff to the back of hand and the cuff, and some mesh between the knuckles, and they did everything they could to try and make these a little more breathable, even putting a different material that's a little bit thinner between each finger. So I can tell you they tried, but did they succeed? Not fully. They did the best of their ability, but again, adding pads to the back of your hand will always be warmer than just a receiver glove, just the way it is. Now, the next step is going to be protection. Like I already mentioned, these are a padded receiver glove, and that means they have some kind of padding on the back of hand. So we have 3 big pads across the knuckles here, one in the middle and then one on each side that kind of flows over top of your knuckles. On the thumb, you have 1 pad here, and then you have this wishbone, which we already talked about, that kind of flows over. And then on the fingers, you have 1 long pad on each finger. Now, where other companies have put like a pad and then a negative space and then a pad, they've done 1 long pad but made it thick, thin, thick, like we already talked about. So it actually bends around your finger perfectly, and you can see that thin area lines up with where your kind of knuckle bends. Now, as far as padding goes on a big skill glove, I think this is probably the 2nd thickest padding. It probably goes the Cutters Gamer, then these, then the Nike Superbad, then the Adidas Freak, if those are the only 4 I'm thinking of. So yeah, these are very thick, but really nice. Next up, we're looking at durability. Now, with durability on these, I have 2 major concerns. Now, the first major concern is gonna be like it is on every other glove out there that has receiver grip, and that's gonna be if you're wearing these as a lineman, which a lot of linemen prefer to wear a big skill glove like this, you're gonna lose the durability of the receiver grip on the inside. Just hitting guys, hitting bodies, this receiver grip on the inside is going to wear down on you, and that's just the way it is. So that's a durability concern if you're a lineman or a linebacker wearing this glove. The other one that might be an issue for everyone is going to be the perforations on the cuff here. Now, I'll show you that on the cuff, there's a ton of these perforations, and it's good and bad. It's good because it adds a little bit of breathability, but it's kind of in an area where I don't think breathability is much of a concern. And at the same time, it adds a lot of weak points to this cuff. Now, if you're a person that wears your gloves undone and you kind of like that dangle look, you could really pull on this. And do I test it right here? Okay, I stand corrected. If you see, I actually pulled on this and it broke at the grip, and it didn't break at the perforations like I thought. Good to know. All right, maybe not as much of a concern as I thought. Let's move on. Now, speaking of the grip, we have Under Armour's glue grip on these gloves. Personally, I love Under Armour's glue grip. I think it's easily one of the best in game. I like it because it performs really well in a lot of different conditions on here. You can spit on it, get it clean really fast, and I think it just does a good job. Now, for this video, I tried to test some new B-roll ideas, and I got one of these Phantom footballs where it's basically a football on a string that you can like attach to a fence. So I thought, testing these gloves, I did 3 things. I tested it one day and I broke my microphone. You can see that here. Look what I just did. I'm trying to get fancy, snap the mic off my DJI. I took it out right before this when it was raining, and you can see the first shot. Then I tested again, then it came off the fence. So again, trying some new things to get you guys B-roll, and I don't think it worked great so far. Probably not a problem with the football, just got to get used to it. Again, not trying to shit on the company, but hopefully you see these more in the future in the videos once I figure out how to use it. So anyways, back to the grip. Under Armour's glue grip is really good. It is a very good grip when it is completely fresh and sticky. I put water on it, and I found with the water, it beads off very fast and still is sticky. As far as getting water on your gloves, you'll always have more of an issues with water in your gloves if it's a composite football like this versus an actual leather football like this. The leather ones, it just works better. I tried dirt as well, and again, now the dirt that's dry, I lost a little bit of the tack, but not much. Yeah, Under Armour's glue grip, easily one of the best in the game. All right, some of the last stuff we're gonna be looking at is style. Now, personally, I don't love the style on these. I just think there's a lot going on. It is very similar to the F9 as far as it has a lot of lines, a lot of different details on it, but in my opinion, I just like simpler gloves, and I feel these are very busy. You have a lot of different shades of black and grays and silvers with a lot of different materials and textures, and then you even have some different horizontal lines and horizontal lines on the palm. It's just a lot. Now, the other thing with these gloves is they come with a catch right now, and that's they're not actually available to the public. So all Under Armour did for this year is they seeded these to their Under Armour branded schools. That means if you're a school that's sponsored by Under Armour and you play on their football team, you'll be able to get your hands on these gloves. Now, because of that, I only know about them being available in this black color, and because they didn't release them to the public, and I had no clue what they would look like in other colors. Maybe they look a lot better in like a red or a yellow or a blue, or we'll definitely see those when they seed them out to their teams this year, hopefully. But like I said, at this point, all I can judge them on is this black, and black is basic. And same thing goes for price. Now, the price on these, I have no idea. Most of the other Superbad, Adidas Impact Now, and the Cutters Gamer are all around that $60 price point. So I'd expect these to be around there, but I don't know. Now, before I talk about the positions this glove is going to be good for, I do want to say that this is slightly concerning on my end when we're looking at Under Armour in the future. If they have a glove like this that I think is a legitimate contender to be one of the better big skill gloves out there right now, if they're not releasing to the public, that means they're basically just trying to fulfill their contractual obligations to their teams, or so I think, and that makes it look like Under Armour is struggling, and that is a concern to me as someone who enjoys Under Armour and what they've been putting out for the past couple of years. So I worry about you, Under Armour. I hope you stick around. I hope you don't go under. These are a good glove, and I wish you put them out to the public. All right, last thing, positions. So these are a big skill football glove, and big skill is essentially represents the linebackers, tight ends, running backs, and kind of those people of the world, kind of not your skinny guys like your corners, safeties, wide receivers, but people that are bigger, want some protection, but also want some grip. So these will be good for a linebacker, a tight end, a running back, and then also a lot of linemen prefer big skill gloves, especially on the D line. So you could look at these if you're an interior or an exterior D lineman, and these would also be good for center because they do have that receiver grip. If you are wearing an Under Armour glove, say you're choosing between these and the Combats are a good glove, but I also love a big skill glove for centers as well. All right, there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment thoughts and prayers for Under Armour down below so they can see that they want them to stick around, and hopefully they bring these to the public. Again, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.